Everyone enjoys a good story. Many of us will seek one with friends and family at the local theater, while many others will seek it in the form of words on paper. Movies and books are a great way to escape reality for a few hours and not have to worry about anything other than what your favorite characters are going through. But there are other forms of stress relief that are similar. When one thinks of role-playing, the most common thoughts center on games such as Dungeons and Dragons. We all know the stereotypical picture. A bunch of friends sitting around a table with piles of books and character sheets, rolling dice and following an intricate set of rules, often arguing over whether or not a particular action they're trying to make for their character legitimately works. While the general purpose of tabletop systems such as Dungeons and Dragons is meant to take you on an epic adventure, I quickly learned to hate it. The rules were ridiculous, the rulebooks themselves were outrageously priced, and the people I was supposed to be playing with were never reliable. Thankfully, role-playing can also be done online, and it's not required to follow the same formula as the tabletop platforms. The idea of role-playing itself has always lured me in. I love to tune out reality for a few hours, much the way one would do for a movie or a book, and just not worry about life. But role-playing has one specific benefit. I'm not just reading the story. I'm a part of it. Online text-based role-playing is a lot like writing the same book with multiple authors, but the catch is that none of you quite know where it's going to wind up. While there are technically no rules, many groups of role-players will have their own unique guidelines for interaction, and several of these guidelines are popular enough to be seen in more than one group. For instance, you can only write for what your character does and how they interact with someone else's character. You have no say over what another player's character does or does not do. But even to this rule, there are exceptions. If you happen to be playing the villain, you're not allowed to actually kill your target without that player's consent. They might really enjoy that character and want to continue to play them in other scenes. But you also shouldn't make your character completely untouchable either. That creates a negative environment among the players that can, and often will, destroy an otherwise good roleplay entirely. A good character, just like in any story, has flaws as well as strengths, and in turn a good roleplayer acknowledges them and respects his or her fellow roleplayers. In this sense, online text-based role-playing truly helps to bring out the development of a character. This is especially true when you have minimal control over your environment. By narrowing down your focus to just this one character, you can really get into their heads. Often the characters you have the strongest investment in will develop a life of their own, and you'll be surprised by what you end up writing. Just like you can get involved in a really good movie or book, I've often found myself getting mad right alongside my characters, fearing what they fear, and feeling their loss as though it were my own, within reason, of course. There's a common phrase that floats around the online role-playing community. If you start crying, you know the roleplay is good. But it's wonderful situations like these that continue to draw me in, and I don't plan to stop role-playing until I can no longer see the screen.